enemy of God in Christ in Revelation is called the beast. Not called the Antichrist, by the way. People talk about the Antichrist in the book of Revelation, but never called the Antichrist in Revelation. It's called the beast from the sea, because there are two beasts. The beast from the sea is Christ's mortal enemy, and he's the enemy of the people of God, the followers of Jesus. He's introduced in chapter 13. The beast has 7 heads and 10 horns, and John's confused by what this beast is, and the angel tells him that the beast, that to understand who the beast is, you need to know that the beast has the number of a man, and the number is 666. There are some manuscripts of Revelation that do not say 666. They say 616. That's interesting. 616, 666. And so the question is, what's it referring to? You are right that historical scholars typically identify 666 as the Emperor Nero. And the reason has to do with actually chapter 17. So partly 17. In chapter 17 is the whore of Babylon that I mentioned earlier, this grotesque woman who's drunk with the blood of the martyrs, who's dressed in this finery and this jewelry and this gold and silver. She's sitting on a beast with 7 horns and 10 heads, same beast. And in this case, the angel tells John that this beast is the beast, the 7 heads represent the 7 hills that the woman is seated on. And so she's named after a city, Babylon. That's the city in the Old Testament that destroyed Jerusalem and burned the temple. Now, in John's day, the city that destroyed Jerusalem and burnt the temple was Rome. That was the enemy. And the angel at the end of the chapter says, the woman is the city that is dominating the earth. Seated on, so she's the woman dominating the city, dominating the earth, seated on 7 hills. And everybody in the ancient world knew about the 7 hills of Rome. And so this is talking about Rome. So the beast is Rome and its ruler, the Roman ruler. The problem with the beast is that it's opposed the saints and has martyred them. Who's the first emperor to martyr Christians? It's Nero. So, as you pointed out, the angel is giving a numerological interpretation of who the beast is. And for people who don't know this, in ancient languages, Greek and Hebrew, for example, they didn't have a separate alphabetic system and numerical system the way we do. We use a Roman alphabet, A, B, C, D, etc., but we use Arabic numerals, and so we have different numbers from our alphabet. In ancient languages, they used their alphabet for their numbers. And so, for example, in Hebrew, Aleph, the first letter is the number 1. Beit, second letter, number 2. Gimel, 3. And you go up like that till you hit 10. Once you hit 10, then the next letter is 20, then 30, 40, 50, until you get to 100. Then the next letter is 200, 300, 400. So you can take the letters of the alphabet, and you can have all of the numbers represented. So if you wanted to say 22, you'd say, Kaf Beit in Hebrew. You'd write it with the Kaf and the Beit and with a line over the top to show you that that means 22. But the payoff of that is that every letter of the alphabet in Greek and Hebrew has a numerical equivalence. So if you spell out your name in one of these languages, you can add up and see how much your name is worth. How much are you worth? So, as you pointed out, when you spell Caesar Nero in Hebrew letters, it adds up to 666. And since you know from chapter 17 that Rome and the Romans are the enemy, and the emperor of Rome is the enemy, so that makes sense because he's the one who first shed blood. But there's a trick to this, which is that if you spell Caesar Nero in Hebrew letters, there are 2 ways to spell it. You can spell it as Kaiser Neron with a nun at the end of Nero. The nun is the Hebrew N, or you can spell it without the nun. The nun is worth 50. If you spell it with the nun, it adds up to 666. If you spell it without the nun, it adds up to 616. Which is what some of the manuscripts have. And so this is clear. This is talking about Nero. They knew this in the ancient world, by the way. The first Christian to write a commentary on Revelation was a guy named Victorinus in the 3rd century, Christian scholar, Victorinus, and he identified 666 as Nero. And so people knew that. Your question is, why Hebrew and not Greek? Because the New Testament's written, Revelation's written in Greek. The reason appears to be because John is providing a mysterious vision, and he's giving secret knowledge. The revelation is bizarre and strange and not straightforward. If he gave the name in Greek, it wouldn't be very straightforward because it'd be kind of obvious then. And so he's giving it in Hebrew in order to increase the mystification of it.